leave the company to the next company, right? So this, you as a top management, the self-imposed budget is very nice, more accurate, because the person who is actually dealing to the production side or to the sales side, who is dealing, one-to-one, face-to-face on customers, so he knows that how much he can sell or how much he can make. But the top management have one biggest challenge is that whether this is unrealistic or not. For example, in car industry, automobile industry, especially in luxury goods industry, so they make this bottom up approach. Why? Because they know that how, from every employees, how much this person can sell. For example, one agent can sell 10 Ferraris in a year, and you are getting numbers from another person who says I can sell 50 Ferraris in 1 year. Very nice that this is self-imposed budget. He, number one advantage, okay, more accurate, because self-imposed budgets are more accurate. You include that, motivation is higher. He will keep his word. You believe that one. But as a manager, you should be very realistic whether this person assumption is unrealistic or not. Then you call him or you have a meeting with him and you say why you did that, and then you find out that because previous year he sell only 5 cars, his target was to sell 10 units, and he sell only 5 units. So this year he got threat, you know, that he will be fired. So he overly estimated the market and said he will be selling 50 cars. So you should be very aware of that, and you should talk about that, increase the confidence, promote communication, honesty, and then he says, oh, no, I can only sell 7. And then you believe that number, right? So the biggest problem that comes from self-imposing budget, despite of its enormous benefits, is being the claim of being unrealistic, right? Self-imposed budgets should be reviewed by higher level managements to prevent budgetary slacks. What is budgetary slack? That you yourself said you will be selling 7 Ferraris. This is 6 months and you only sell one. So that is not realistically possible that you will be selling in next 6 months the 5 or 6 Ferraris. So you will be giving them a push. It's not like that, okay, in 1 year you will be selling 7, okay, let's meet after 1 year and then we will see that. No, you need to be constantly involved in their level of budget that they said, okay, they will be selling, and you will be asking their performances. Okay, what is your target for this month? What is your next month's targets, like that, right? So human factor in budgeting. Number one, the top management must be enthusiastic, committed to budgeting process. If top management itself is not very much, enthusiastic, then you can see that then how budgets are going to be evaluated, controlled, monitored, reviewed. They don't care about that. Then it's just a paper form and just paper goes through dustbin. That's it. Top management must not use the budgets to pressure employees. Like I told you, don't influence, rather influence the employees to help them to produce more, guide them. If you produce more, you will get more, you will get promotion, you will increase in salaries. Increase in salary means we will be, or increase in company's profit means that we will be able to open a college for for your kids, right? We will be opening a hospital so that your parents going to be in that hospital care center. Like it's like that, when you influence the employees, they will produce more. Third one, highly achievable budget targets are usually preferred when managers are rewarded based on meeting budget targets. And if you uh, give lucrative benefits, the one who is meeting its targets, 3 years target in a consecutive manner, consecutive 3 years, he would be given one car or ticket to Maldives for a month, enjoy with family trips like that. or company will be paying college, college due, or setting up a college fund for that employee's kid, or giving them stock options. So in that case, the managers will, work really hard to complete those targets. Budget committee, who overall approve all these budgets, they make policies, coordinate. They are responsible for coordinating the plans, plus resolving dispute. Like I told you, if marketing department overly budgeted the orders and the production department budgets just skyrocketed, then there would be a dispute. The production manager will say that give me more workers so that I can meet this target, and the company will say that we don't have that budget, right? You need to pressurize the employees and complete this order. And there is also the point on the sales department, why they overly booked, why they increased their estimate, what are the reasons. It's like that, right? So they also resolve the disputes, plus they are responsible to approving final budgets, right? And those budgets are now communicated overall to the company, so that everybody is between these limits, do not cross that limit. And then every manager is basically doing a control function on budgets. Here we go. So from here we are starting the numerical part. So this is a master budget overview. So you see that it is starting from sales. So if we properly analyze the sales budget, we can develop any budget. From sales budget, you can develop production budget. From production budget, you can develop direct material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead budget, and also ending inventory budget. And when you have direct material, direct labor, direct manufacturing overhead, you can make cash budget, cash payments and cash inflows. Cash inflows will be coming from sales budget, right? Cash outflow is coming from direct material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead, and selling and administrative budget. And from cash budget, then you can make budgeted income statement and budgeted balance sheet. So we'll see that how we are going to make it. It's very easy, right? It's very, very easy, right? Let's just dive deep into this one. So prepare sales budget, including a schedule of expected cash collections. Here we go. We have this. So throughout this chapter, we will be talking about Royal Company. So about these data here. So Royal Company is preparing budget for quarter ending 30th June. Quarter mean 3 months, right? But they have given us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months data. But they are budgeting for 3 months. So you are required to make 3 months budget. Selling price is 10. Can you make a sales budget? Fairly simple. What is the sales in April? What is the sales in April? 20,000 units multiplied by 10. Simple. What is the sales budget in May? Multiplied by 10. What is the sales budget in June? Multiplied by 10. What is the quarterly? Add April, May, June. Simple. Right? It's not a hard and fast rule here. It's not rocket science here. There we go. How you make in Excel or in the company software. You see, April budget, May and June. Why don't we go to add July and August? Because our requirement is budget for quarter, 3 months. So 3 months sales budget is 3 months sales budget, $1 million. And how we came up with this? We bifurcate with April, May, and June. That's it. Right, guys? Any question? Chandra, Min, David?
No.
Christine, Sipade?
No question, sir.
Okay. Now, expected cash collections, of course, when we sell, then we expect to receive some cash. Then we develop policies. Okay, at least 1 month sale, 70% must be the cash sales during that month. And we can maximum allow other 30% on credit. But remember, from that 30%, 5% would be bad debts or not receivable, that it is uncollectible, right? Now, we can just place accordingly. So remember this one. So we are making 3 months budget, right? April, March, March, April, May, and June. So we say that 70% will be collected here. So 70% of April will be collected in 70%. March 70% will be collected in 70%. June 70% will be collected in June. So remember, 25% of this April will be collected in May, and 25% of June will be 25% of March will be collected in June. So if this 25%, that would be a March. 25% here would be from April, and in April 25% gonna be from March, right? So that's why we have given this. The March 31st account receivable balance 30,000 will be collected in full. March 31st means 1st April. So it will be collected in April. So let's just see that here. So you see here, so we started from April. So how much we received from in April? 70% of the sales. So what is the sales in April? 200,000. 70% of 200,000 would be 140,000, right? And 25% of 200,000 will be belongs to April, but will be collected in May. So you see, it will be written here. 25% will be collected in May. 5% is uncollectible, so we are not going to budget that one because that is not receivable, bad debts, right? So May sales, 70% in May,